Welcome back to CryptosRus. I am George. We're all George. Lynn Alden is one of those people. She did mention during the Bitcoin conference last week that nothing is going to stop this train because of how bad conditions are in the U.S. We have 100% basically debt ratio compared to our GDP, and that is not a good thing. And our irresponsible spending will continue, and more money will be printed and more borrowing, and it's just a vicious cycle that'll never stop. And that's why more and more people are going to turn to Bitcoin. It's really that simple. Now, there's also something else. There's a big rumor that may be happening today. I don't think it's going to happen. But if it happens, the markets may explode. I don't know, in a good way or a bad way. I'm thinking it's going to be a good way. So if you look at like this week, in terms of all the speakers and everything, Powell is going to be speaking today. It's a weird thing. I don't know what he's actually speaking about. It doesn't really say, but Jerome Pal is going to be speaking today at 1 o'clock. It's not a usual thing, okay? It's not like a recap or he's at some other place or somewhere. I mean, it doesn't seem like there's not a whole lot of information. I don't know what he's going to be speaking about. But there is one rumor that's spreading around that he may actually resign today. It is 100% rumor right now. No one knows if this is true. But we know that Trump has been putting a lot of pressure on him to cut the Fed fund rate, and he hasn't been doing so. And Trump has threatened to fire him a couple times, and he backtracked on that. But obviously, Jerome Powell knows that he's stuck between a rock and a hard place. He's being asked to cut the Fed fund rate, even though the conditions doesn't warrant it. He's one of the most hated men on earth. So is that rumor true? If he's going to retire or not retire or resign today, what is that going to do to markets? Will markets crash or will they rally? Because they may rally because if they see him as, a hindrance to more rate cuts, then markets may soar afterwards. I don't know. I think the chances of this is low, but there are rumors about this that maybe he's resigning. I don't know. I guess we'll have to see. We'll have to wait another 3 or 4 hours. But outside of this, right, of course, we always have more adoption. We have a lot of good things happening all the time. South Korea, one of the biggest nations out there in terms of crypto adoption, both of their presidential candidates last year, man, South Korea's presidency and all the craziness. I don't know if it's last year or this year. One of their presidents threw the nation martial law, and then he got kicked out. And then whoever replaced him got kicked out. Oh, man, that's a mess. I don't know. I think that's last year or maybe this year. But anyways, they are very supportive of crypto. And both presidential candidates seems like they want to legalize crypto ETFs and ease regulations. So that is a very good thing. Very good thing. Also, what's good is anyone that has done what Saylor has done, which is just come up with a Bitcoin reserve and adopted a Bitcoin strategy, has been outperforming. As bleak it may seem sometimes, even though it's never really that bleak, of course. When in doubt, zoom out, and you'll realize how great things have been. Even with strategy. You may think, well, strategy is kind of stuck. Strategy is kind of going nowhere, right? But you look at this year-to-date performance, it's destroying the likes of Apple, Microsoft, Google, Nvidia, Tesla. Not even close. And then you look at 3 month performance, it's destroying them as well. Strategy has been the strategy, okay? And that is why Saylor has some big predictions going. And I mean, honestly, you can't argue with the performance, right? And many others are following. It's just really that simple because it works. Not only does it work for their stock, but if you also believe in the fact that our macro conditions are going to get worse, you can't trust banks or nations to solve their problems, you bet on Bitcoin. And Robert Kiyosaki has been saying this for a long, long time. Now, he has made a lot of predictions, a lot of doom and gloom predictions over the years. But he does believe finally that this year will be correct and there will be a super huge summer market crash. Not that it's good, but he does say that right now, the three things: gold, silver, and Bitcoin. Now, in this post, he believes silver is undervalued because it's not near its all-time high, but Bitcoin and gold are. But he has been on the Bitcoin train for quite some time now and has told everyone to go stack sats. Because Bitcoin, unlike gold and silver, you can't just mine more. You can't just dig more out of the ground. It's set by code, and that's never going to change. Right? And of course, going back to Saylor, he says if people knows what he knows, Bitcoin will go to 10 million tomorrow. That's how bullish he is. I think I know. I think most of you guys watching know, right? But the thing is, most people on the planet do not. I have a video clip that actually talks about this. It is quite interesting. I mean, we are still so early. Vast majority of the people out there do not know about Bitcoin. And those that even do hold very little of it. It is like the greatest, it's one of those generational wealth assets. It's like knowing if Manhattan's going to be like it is now 100 years ago, or Tokyo, or anywhere else on the planet. Knowing where it's going to be today, 100 years ago, would you have not gone all in, or Shanghai, or anywhere, right? London, any big cities. Had you known where it was going to be 100 years from now, what it was going to be like and what prices will be like, would you have not gone in all the way? That's kind of like Bitcoin. We all know where it's going to be 10, 20, 30, 50, 100 years from now. It's going to be so scarce, yet people still do not go all in or even a little bit. That's the thing. Well, that's good for us, though, for us long-term holders. We get the opportunity to continue to accumulate, right, while prices are still cheap, because soon in the future they won't be cheap. Right now, Saylor continues to DCA, and that's what we need to do. So he purchased another 705 Bitcoin, 75 million. This is actually a small purchase versus his last few purchases, but nevertheless, this is DCA, right? DCA for him. Now he has 580,955 Bitcoin. Yeah. If Bitcoin goes to 10 million, you times that by 100x, right? That means this pile is going to be worth, basically, he purchased $4 trillion of the Bitcoin for 40 billion. That's what it means. 100x. Imagine having $4 trillion worth of Bitcoin. That doesn't even exist now because the market cap of Bitcoin is not even close to that. And you know what? Metaplanet is also doing the same thing. They purchased 1,088 Bitcoin. They purchased even more than Sailor this time. That shows you how aggressive Metaplanet has become. They had a big presence at the Bitcoin conference as well. That's a big buy. They have 8,888 Bitcoin now. And they will continue to load up and load up and load up and load up. These are all great things, obviously, for Bitcoin. As more and more companies adopt the Bitcoin strategy, less and less is out there. Less and less is floating out there. And again, it shows you. It gives you a glimpse into what the future will be like when there isn't enough Bitcoin to go around.